From the earliest records of human civilization, people have sought to understand the forces that give them life and what, if anything, continues beyond death. Across cultures and centuries, one question has remained at the heart of spiritual inquiry. What is the difference between the soul and the spirit? Are these simply two words for the same unseen force, or do they describe distinct aspects of what it means to be human? In this episode, we examine this enduring question. Drawing on ancient texts, theological traditions, and modern spiritual thought, we explore the possibility that the spirit is the eternal connection to God, a divine fragment that remains forever with the Creator, while the soul represents the unique personality and experience that comes to earth to walk the path of mortal life. This concept, found in varying forms across the world's great faiths, offers insight into humanity's place in the universe and into the design that may govern our existence. In the Hebrew Scriptures, the word ruach describes the spirit, the breath of God that animates life. The spirit, in this view, is the force that gives being to all things, an eternal element that originates from and ultimately returns to the Creator. Ecclesiastes 12:7 describes this cycle in stark terms. The dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. The spirit, then, is not shaped by the world. It does not age, suffer, or change. It is, as many traditions hold, the divine spark, unchanging, perfect, and forever part of God. By contrast, the soul is often described as the vessel of individual identity. It is the soul that enters the world of time and matter, that takes on the challenges of mortal existence. In ancient Christian writings, in the mystical teachings of the Kabbalah, and in Islamic Sufi thought, the soul is seen as the interface between the spirit and the world, a bridge between heaven and earth. In the New Testament, the distinction is reflected in passages such as 1 Thessalonians 5:23, where Paul writes, "May your whole spirit and soul and body be kept blameless at the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ." Here, spirit, soul, and body are named as distinct components of the human being, each serving a different purpose in the divine order. One interpretation, shared in both ancient wisdom and modern spiritual philosophy, holds that the soul is the personality formed around the spirit's light. It is the part of us that learns, struggles, chooses, and grows, where the spirit is the constant connection to God. The soul is the traveler, gathering experience through many lifetimes, shaped by the challenges it encounters. Modern spiritual thought, as well as ancient insight, often equates the soul not merely with our personality, but with something even more intimate. Our very consciousness, it is that quiet observer within us, the presence behind our thoughts, the voice that speaks not from instinct or impulse, but from reflection and awareness. While the body acts and the mind reacts, the soul perceives. It is in the still moments when we ponder a moral choice, wrestle with truth, or reflect on suffering that we encounter the soul most directly. It is the part of us that wonders, why am I here? What does this mean? What is right? And it is the part that, when confronted with suffering, does not only feel pain, but asks, what can I learn from this? This voice within is not the voice of the brain, which processes external stimuli, nor is it the spirit, which remains fixed in divine perfection. Rather, it is the soul, the conscious entity, navigating human experience. It is the one that remembers, the one that seeks, the one that chooses. The soul is that quiet awareness that continues even when the body is at rest. It is what speaks in dreams, what reflects during solitude, and what calls us to higher purpose. When the noise of the world fades away, in many traditions, the soul is described as the driver of the chariot, with the body as the vehicle and the senses as the horses. The body moves, the mind interprets, but it is the soul that steers. It is the seat of moral awareness, of intention, and of meaning. This understanding supports the idea that the soul is not of the body, it is within it, but not of it. It can observe the body's decline without aging itself. It can outlive the brain's activity, and in many accounts, ancient and modern, it continues to operate after physical death. This separation is more than poetic. It is foundational to understanding the soul's journey. If the soul were only a function of the brain, then it would perish with the body. But across traditions, it is held that the soul precedes birth and survives death. Tethered not to biology, but to the spiritual blueprint laid out before this lifetime began. In this light, the soul is not simply who we are, it is who we are becoming. It is the conscious core, shaped by experience, choice, and growth. and while the body may age and the mind may forget, the soul remembers. It remembers who we are beneath the titles, the roles, and the achievements. It remembers the deeper truths, the ones that call us to love, to justice, to selflessness. And perhaps, more than anything else, it remembers home. This view is central to what has come to be known as the soul contract theory, the idea that before birth, the soul agrees to take on certain challenges, relationships, and circumstances as part of a plan for growth and learning. This concept, explored in earlier episodes, suggests that the events of a person's life are not random or meaningless. Rather, they are part of a sacred agreement designed to teach the soul what it most needs to learn. In this framework, the spirit remains with God, untouched by the experiences of the world. The soul, however, descends into the material realm, living out the contract it helped create. It is through the soul's journey that the individual personality is formed, through joy and sorrow, success and failure, hope and loss. This understanding is not unique to one tradition. In the ancient Near East, in Greece, in India, and beyond, similar distinctions appear. In Hindu philosophy, for example, Atman refers to the eternal self, unchanging and divine, akin to the spirit, while the Jiva is the individual soul that experiences the world of forms. The two are connected, yet distinct. One remains with the source, the other embarks on the journey. Throughout history, this duality has helped explain the human condition, the tension between our longing for the divine and our immersion in the material. It offers a lens through which to understand both our highest ideals and our deepest struggles. The soul's task is to integrate the lessons of mortal life, drawing ever closer to the perfection of the spirit from which it came. This perspective also offers insight into the differences we observe among individuals. Some people seem naturally drawn to higher ideals, focused on compassion, wisdom, and service. They are often described as old souls, souls that, through many lifetimes and lessons, have come closer to the divine plan. Others appear caught in the concerns of the material world, still engaged in learning the foundational lessons of integrity, humility, or self-restraint. The theory of soul and spirit also helps explain the universal human longing for meaning. If the soul remembers its origin in the spirit, if, deep down, it knows that it came from God and will return to God, then this longing is not an illusion. It is a reflection of the soul's deepest truth, that it is on a journey homeward, guided by the light of the spirit that remains with the Creator. In this view, life's challenges take on new meaning. Suffering, loss, and hardship are not mere accidents or punishments. They are part of the soul's chosen path, opportunities to learn, to grow, and to fulfill the contract it agreed to before birth. The spirit, untouched by these struggles, remains the constant beacon, drawing the soul ever closer to God. As we reflect on these ideas, we are reminded that the distinction between soul and spirit has been a part of human thought for millennia. It speaks to the complexity of our existence and the depth of the mystery that surrounds our origins and our destiny. In future episodes, we will continue this exploration, examining how the soul's contract unfolds across lifetimes, how the concept of karma relates to divine grace, and how the collective evolution of humanity reflects the sacred design of the Creator. For now, we are left with a timeless truth that within each person dwells both the unchanging spirit and the evolving soul. Together, they form the complete human being, part of the earth and part of the divine plan.